Time to talk movies, and nobody better in my world to talk movies with than a longtime friend of mine, Keith Whittier. Whittier.com is your website, or .ca?
.com.
.com. And I caught you at a really good time, I know, because you have just been binge watching a ton of movies for the Berlin Film Festival. What has stood out to you there?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of very interesting movies at the Berlin Film Festival. Let us just say that our European friends are very open-minded when it comes to film. The top prize at the Berlin Film Festival is the Golden Bear Award, and this year it went to a movie that translates to bad luck banging or loony porn. And the movie is about a couple that have sex, and they end up videotaping it, and it ends up going online. And the wife is a teacher, and wouldn't you know, now a lot of the parents at the school do not want her at the school anymore. They start shaming her, and it's a whole dialogue in regards to how our society treats men and women very differently as it relates to sex. Now, what makes this film interesting is that they show all of the sex. There is no fade to black. There is no simulation. This is You basically felt like you were watching porn. Now, it's interesting because I had an opportunity to talk to the director and the producer of the film. They said that what they're going to be looking at doing is probably doing an edited, tamer version before they distribute it to North America. But they also made a really good point. They talked about the fact that we do a lot of censoring as it relates to nudity, but not so much as it relates to violence. And that's an interesting takeaway.
Yeah.
Of course, again, we were talking like a very hardcore look at sex, but again, it was very interesting. But all that aside, the premise of the movie stands. We do treat women and men very differently, and I'm excited for people to see this. And again, in a COVID world where we're watching all of these movies at home, there's no fear of people walking out of the audience or being uncomfortable because you're just watching it in the comfort of your own home anyways.
And you chose it, so that's kind of on you if you chose it, right?
Exactly. 100%.
I like how timely this whole movie concept is too. There was a story about a week ago about a woman in the States who has an OnlyFans page and is doing very well with it. And some of the parents have caught on and are now, trying to get her kids kicked out of school, et cetera. And there's this whole double standard of, her personal life, et cetera. So that movie again is called what?
That it is called bad luck banging or loony porn. And to your OnlyFans piece too, I mean, it makes a very good point. I mean, I'm not a big expert on the OnlyFans, but I believe you have to pay for it. So those people that are criticizing her, what were they doing on her page? So I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. And when can we expect, will that be in theaters or is that expected to, in COVID, is it likely to end up in like Amazon, Netflix, et cetera?
I would assume it would most likely end up on a streaming service. It just won the award literally on Friday. So right now it's basically being shopped to distributors. So I will definitely keep you updated on that.
All right. So that's your highlight from the Berlin Film Festival. How many movies would you have watched for that festival overall?
For that festival, I would have watched about 12 films. 12 films over the course of 5 days. Now,
so the audience just getting to know you. I told you. He's legit. He's the biggest movie buff I know. Okay, so again, it is a COVID world. We're kind of finally getting into the better weather, but we're not quite there yet. People still spending a lot of time in front of their television. What are, in your opinion, some of the things that people should be taking in, should be watching if they haven't already been watching?
Yeah, absolutely. We are in the middle of award season right now. And of course, it all culminates with the Academy Awards in April. And there are some really fantastic films that are in discussion right now for nominations. One that I would definitely recommend is Promising Young Woman. It is directed by Emerald Fennell and it stars Carey Mulligan. We have been living through the Me Too, the Time's Up movement right now. And a lot of the movies that have touched on that, we've seen a lot of women being the victim. Well, if you're looking for one that basically flips the script on that, Promising Young Woman is the movie that we've been waiting for. I had the chance to see this last year, as a matter of fact, at the Sundance Film Festival. It just had its release late last year. It is gaining a lot of momentum heading into award season, picking up lots of different trophies. I'm very impressed with this film. I've always seen Carey Mulligan as a strong supporting actor. I no longer look at her in that light. She can carry any project. She is phenomenal in this film. This is a revenge movie that would make Quentin Tarantino blush. He would be so proud of this film. So that is definitely one that I recommend. Another film that I recommend is Pieces of a Woman. This is a film that stars Vanessa Kirby, and she's co-starring alongside Shia LaBeouf in this film. They play a couple. Unfortunately, their pregnancy does not end up the way that they were hoping it would. She's dealing with that tragedy, and I'm telling you, this is some of the finest acting that I saw on screen in 2020. She again is getting a lot of buzz towards a Best Actress nomination, rightfully so. And Pieces of a Woman right now is on Netflix. A Promising Young Woman is on, again, Apple TV, Google, the different streaming services right now. Both of them are phenomenal films, and I definitely recommend checking those two out.
Now, from movies to television, conventional television, which really isn't conventional at all anymore. But for a quick, like I'm into the Punky Brewster, where is she now kind of thing. I binge watched that. For someone looking to spend an hour or so here and there, what's your big recommendation right now?
Well, it's interesting because right now, one series, this isn't really a 1 hour thing, so I apologize. I'm going to veer off of your question a little bit, but I will say one series that isn't that long that I would definitely recommend checking out is Behind Her Eyes. It's 6 episodes. It's 6 episodes, and it is on Netflix, I believe. It is a very interesting story where you have this woman who's working in an office, and she ends up meeting this guy at a bar, and the guy at the bar turns out to be her new boss, and they have an affair. But then at the same token, she also befriends his wife, and then they become like quite close. So it's a very interesting thing where this woman's caught in the extremely awkward, where she's caught in the middle. So it's not a 1 hour thing. It's 6 episodes. It's very intriguing television. It's something, I know the plot might sound like we might have seen it before, but I guarantee you the way that this series ends up in the one season, nobody could have expected what's going to happen. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And again, that is called Behind Her Eyes.
Berlin Film Festival, award nominees, what's binge-worthy. I think we covered a lot in just a couple of minutes here, which is really, really awesome. Let's have you back every single week. Again, this is my buddy Keith Whittier. Whittier.com is the website. You're writing for Ottawa Life magazine. Where else can people hear you, see you, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. On Twitter and Instagram, it is CFL_fan, because as John can tell you, I'm a very huge CFL fan.
I believe I took you to your first game, did I not?
Well, one of my first. My dad took me to my first one, but one of my first, definitely.
Keith Whittier on the Milkman's Brew. Ha ha.